Okay, so we'll continue on with Act 1, Scene 1, and in this second half of the scene, we're going to see Romeo's parents try to find Romeo and figure out why he's been so sad lately, and his buddy Benvolio is going to go ask him why he's been so sad, and what we'll find out is that Romeo is in love with a girl named Rosalind, but she doesn't want him back. All right, so Act 1, Scene 1, we're about line 97. So this is Mr. Montague talking right now. Oh, and this is the part where the prince has come in. So we're just going to wrap up the part about the prince. So Mr. Montague says, "Who set this ancient quarrel new abroach? Speak, nephew. Were you by when it began?" So Benvolio explains what happened quickly. "Here were the servants of your adversary, and yours, close fighting ere I did approach. I drew to part them. In the instant came the fiery Tybalt, with his sword prepared, which, as he breathed defiance to my ears, he swung about his head, and cut the winds, who, nothing hurt withal, hissed him in scorn. While we were interchanging thrusts and blows, came more and more, and fought on part and part, till the prince came, who parted either part." "Oh, where is Romeo? Saw you him today? Right glad I am he was not at this fray." Notice how Mrs. Montague is speaking in rhyming couplets. I wonder why Shakespeare chooses to have some of these characters speak in rhyme. So Benvolio responds, "Madam, an hour before the worshipped sun peered forth the golden window of the east, a troubled mind drove me to walk abroad, where underneath the grove of sycamore, that westward rooteth from this city side, so early walking did I see your son. Toward him I made, but he was ware of me, and stole into the covert of the wood. I, measuring his affections by my own, which then most sought where most might not be found, being one too many by my weary self, pursued my humor, not pursuing his, and gladly shunned, who gladly fled from me. Well, many a morning hath he there been seen with tears, augmenting the fresh morning's dew, adding to clouds more clouds with his deep sighs. But all so soon as the all-cheering sun should in the farthest east begin to draw the shady curtains from Aurora's bed, away from light steals home my heavy son, and private in his chamber pens himself, shuts up his windows, locks fair daylight out, and makes himself an artificial night. Black and portentous must this humor prove, unless good counsel may the cause remove." So Romeo's basically depressed and likes just nighttime and not daytime. "My noble uncle, do you know the cause?" "I neither know it, nor can learn of him." "Have you importuned him by any means?" "Both myself and many other friends, but he his own affection's counselor is to himself, I will not say how true, but to himself so secret and so close, so far from sounding and discovery, as is the bud, bit with an envious worm, ere he can spread his sweet leaves to the air, or dedicate his beauty to the same. Could we but learn from whence his sorrows grow, we would as willingly give cure as know." So they see Romeo in the distance, and Benvolio says, "See where he comes? So please you step aside, I'll know his grievance, or be much denied." "I would thou wert so happy by thy stay, to hear true shrift. Come, madam, let's away." So they exit, and it's just Benvolio and Romeo, and he's going to try to figure out what Romeo's problem is. "Good morrow, cousin." "Oh, is the day so young?" "Oh, but new struck 9. "Ay me, sad hours seem long." "Was that my father that went hence so fast?" "It was." "What sadness lengthens Romeo's hours?" "Well, not having that which having makes them short." "In love?" "Out." "Of love?" "Out of her favor, where I am in love." "Alas, that love so gentle in his view should be so tyrannous and rough in proof." Alas, that love, whose view is muffled still, should without eyes see pathways to his will. Where shall we dine? Oh me, what fray was here? Oh, yet tell me not, for I have heard it all. Here's much to do with hate, but more with love. Why then, O brawling love, O loving hate, O anything of nothing first created, O heavy lightness, serious vanity, misshapen chaos of well-seeming forms, feather of lead, bright smoke, cold fire, sick health, still waking sleep that is not what it is. This love feel I, that feel no love in this. Dost thou not laugh? So that was Romeo's famous oxymoron speech where he talks about how love is two extremes, hot and cold. So think about how that's true. No, cuz, he says, I'm not laughing at you. I rather weep. Good heart at what? Why, at thy good heart's oppression. Why, such is love's transgression. Griefs of mine own lie heavy in my breast, which thou wilt propagate, to have it pressed with more of thine. This love that thou hast shown doth add more grief to too much of mine own. Love is a smoke raised with the fume of sighs. Being purged, a fire sparkling in lovers' eyes. Being vexed, it's a sea nourished with loving tears. What is it else? A madness most discreet, a choking gall, and a preserving sweet. Farewell, my cuz. Oh, soft, I will go along, and if you leave me so, you do me wrong. Tut, I have lost myself, I am not here, this is not Romeo, he's some other where. Well, tell me in sadness, who is it that you love? What, shall I groan and tell thee? Groan, why no, but sadly tell me who. Oh, a sick man in sadness make his will. A word ill urged to one that is so ill. In sadness, cousin, I do love a woman. I aimed so near when I supposed you loved. A right good marksman, and she's fair, I love. A right fair mark, fair cuz, is soonest hit. Well, in that hit you miss. She'll not be hit with Cupid's arrow. She hath Dian's wit, and, in strong proof of chastity well armed, from love's weak childish bow she lives uncharmed. She will not stay the siege of loving terms, nor bide the encounter of assailing eyes, nor ope her lap to saint-seducing gold. Oh, she is rich in beauty, only poor that when she dies, with beauty dies her store. So he's talking about how it's unfortunate that she won't take a husband, and her beauty will die with her. She won't be able to have children, so her beauty will go on. Then she hath sworn that she will live chaste? She hath, and in that sparing mate's huge waste, for beauty, starved with her severity, cuts beauty off from all posterity. She is too fair, too wise, wisely too fair, to merit bliss by making me despair. She hath forsworn to love, and in that vow do I live dead, that live to tell it now. So Benvolio has an idea about how to get over this girl. Be ruled by me. Forget to think of her. Oh, teach me how I should forget to think. Well, by giving liberty unto thine eyes, examine other beauties. 'Tis the way to call hers exquisite, in question more. These happy masks that kiss fair ladies' brows, being black, puts us in mind they hide the fair. He that is strucken blind cannot forget the precious treasure of his eyesight lost. Show me a mistress that is passing fair. What doth her beauty serve, but as a note where I may read who passed that passing fair? Farewell, thou canst not teach me to forget. Benvolio replies by saying, I'll pay that doctrine or else die in debt. So he says, I'll bet you that I can make you forget about her. And the irony is he will make Romeo forget about her because he's going to convince him to go to a party where he's going to meet Juliet. Romeo at the end there was saying that he can't simply forget Rosalind, because you can't get someone to forget something when they already know it exists. It's impossible to forget something so wonderful and beautiful. And the metaphor he used about the blind man, can you teach a blind man to forget what it's like to see when he lost his sight after having been able to see and remember what it's like? So that's an interesting metaphor as well.